What's good, everybody? Will Frazier here, your business and credit expert, and today we're going to be going over video 4 in the 4th commandment in the installment of the 10 commandments of credit. If you're new to the series, make sure that you go back to the first video and watch the playlist that's going to have all of the videos in order, especially as they come out. And if you're unsure of what this series is about, basically it's about going back to those old biblical principles which gave us all the answers that we needed to try to get a hold of our finances and our credit too, so that we can make sure that all of that is on track without trying to rely on all of the new gimmicky tips and tricks that you may find out there that don't actually work. And today's commandment is going to be, thou shalt be intentional when establishing credit. And the verse that we're getting that from is going to be Luke 16 verses 10 and 12. And it reads, he that is faithful in that which is least is faithful also in much. And he that is unjust in the least is unjust also in much. And if ye have not been faithful in that which is another man's, who shall give you that which is your own? Now, when we go back and look at that, first starting off, he that is faithful in that which is least is also faithful also in much. So that's telling you, if you're good, with the little things that you're given to manage, then of course you're going to be good in handling larger things that may be given to you to manage. And also, he that is unjust in least is also unjust in much. If you aren't good at handling a little bit of something, whatever it is, whether it be money, credit, a position at your job, any small role or small task, if you're unjust or not good at handling those things, of course you're probably not going to be good if you're trying to handle something larger. And going on to the next verse, it says, and he that have not been faithful in that which is another man's, who shall give you that which is your own? So when it comes to credit, and this is the connection here, when it comes to credit, you are getting something that is for someone else, so someone else is giving you money to manage. And if you're not good at managing something that was given to you from someone else, who else is going to want to give you something, or something of even greater value at that? So that's where this commandment is coming from, the different ways and people manage credit. And of course, in order to do a good thing or to manage something the right way, you have to have intention involved in whatever it is that you're trying to do. And intention just really means that you have set a goal that you're going to handle things a certain way. Just having no intentions behind what you're doing can lead to failure in whatever that arena is, whether it be your money, your credit, or whatever it is. And that is why this 4th commandment is so important. Now, if you think about it from the scope of credit, most of you guys, when you're first starting to build out credit, what you're probably thinking of, what you would like to see, is you walking up in a bank and getting approved for a $20,000 loan or a $200,000, $300,000 mortgage just fresh out the gate, with you just starting to use credit or with you not having any experience with credit. Of course, that's what we would like, but that's not really how the system works. Now, the way that it does work is that you have to prove yourself with those little small accounts, like a secured card or a unsecured card for bad credit, maybe, that might have a $300 credit limit. Sometimes it could be a secured loan or a credit builder loan that's actually giving you a small amount to play with to start building and establishing your credit. Whatever it is that you're getting, usually banks and creditors, they're going to give you stuff that is very small so that they can see how you manage that before they even think about giving you something big. And keeping that in mind, you have to know that while you're using those small pieces of credit to establish yourself, you have to have the intention of using this card properly in order to make sure that you get the full benefit of it, and so that you can get those bigger things later on down the line. Because sometimes when people are trying to establish credit, they just go get whatever card is out there, and then instead of them thinking about, how they're going to spend this money wisely to make sure that they don't end up in trouble while they're trying to establish credit, they end up going out there and spending all the money on some crazy stuff, not thinking about how they're going to pay it back, or just telling themselves they'll pay it back later, and then they don't really have a plan or the resources to pay it back. Which is why you need to have, and it's important to think about having intention when you are starting to build credit. Even if it's a small amount, you still need to try to apply this principle, because how you act with a little bit is how you're going to act when you get the bigger amounts too. Because if you've heard that saying, people say that money changes people, but really money doesn't change people. Money just makes you more of who you are. So if you're a person that's not going to be a good manager, just like the scripture says, then when it comes to the bigger lines of credit, that's what you're going to do with that bigger amount of credit as well. And if you guys are actually having trouble finding different things that you can use in order to establish credit or build credit, I'm gonna put a link to a few things down in the description so that you can check those things out while you're trying to get yourself established. But when you're trying to find accounts to use, when you're actually at this phase, you're trying to build credit, there's a few things that you want to look at that are going to be important. If you know you have bad credit, or if you know you don't have any good credit at all, then you should know that you have to try to find something that's going to either have a guaranteed approval or something that has no credit check, or at very least something that has a soft credit pull or no hard pull. Now, of course, if it's guaranteed approval, it's guaranteed approval. You're gonna get it and you don't have any worries with that. But if not that, something with no credit check at all, at least you'll know that they're not, checking the bureaus to see if they're gonna approve you. More than likely, it might be a fintech company looking at your finances and your bank account, or they could be looking at other information to determine if they're gonna approve you. Other than that, if you find something that has at least a soft credit pull, then that means that at least you can get like a pre-qualification and you can see if they would approve you before you get that full hard inquiry. And then that way you don't waste the inquiry and then end up getting denied. You can find out if you would be denied before you even go that route. And then if you do have to take the inquiry, you'll know that, hey, at least I'm gonna get approved for this because they said I should be approved. Because getting the account to build credit is always gonna help you way more than the inquiry will hurt you. And don't forget, once you actually get approved for the account, make sure you are using this account like you're gonna get a grade for everything that you do, because you actually are. It's your credit score. So you want that grade to be very good, so make sure you're putting intention behind everything you do and use this card for. And if you need some more information on actually how to build credit using things like a credit card or a loan or something like that, I have a video that actually goes over that type of information so that you can learn what it is that you need to do in that regard. Now again, the commandment today, thou shalt be intentional when establishing credit. Make sure you keep this one at the top of your thoughts when you're starting on your credit journey or trying to rebuild your credit, and make sure that you share this video with anybody that you know may need this information. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you did like it so that YouTube can show it to more people. Hit the subscribe button and also turn on notifications so you'll be notified when I let out another video in the series or any of the other videos I drop on the channel. If you have been enjoying this series so far and getting good information from it, make sure you leave a comment down below too and let me know so we can keep the good energy going as we continue to lay down these foundational principles from the Bible. Again, I thank you guys for sticking around to the end of the video, and I'll see you next time.